With that being said, let's start at our very first building, the state capitol. Now, the state capitol was built in 1894, exactly 1 mile above sea level. Well, mostly exactly. And I'll explain that. The original measurements were done in 1909 by two students of the University of Denver who set out to prove that it was exactly 1 mile above sea level. But that was using the measurements of their time. As we've moved on and had more precise measurements, we found a new measurement, one in 1969, which puts us at the 18th stair, and then one in 2003, which marks it as the 13th stair. You could go up the stairs and see those inscriptions engraved in the stairs. They were before marked by brass plates, but they were stolen several times. Now, if you look at the dome of this building, you'll see that it's made of copper and it's gilded with gold leaf. The original dome was just copper, but in a short time it turned black, so it was replaced by this other dome, which is the reason the Capitol looks like it does now. When you go inside and you look up, you could see the base of the second tower put in there, and in between the two towers is what's called the lighthouse or the attic space, which you can tour. And it is told that there's a ghost up there, and he's the ghost of an old miner, and he carries an axe pick on his back. And it's said that he's looking to get out the window where we usually open it to let heat escape. He's looking to go out there and get the last of the gold leaf off the tower. So he's one of the ghosts who are there. Now, if you talk to anybody who works in the state capitol, they will tell you that there's something odd about this building. They say when they walk around, they can hear voices inside conference rooms as if a conference is going on, but when they open the door, nobody's there. They also say in the twilight hours between dusk and dawn, you could follow around a cold presence that smells of rose perfume, but no woman ever manifests. So, if you would like to meet some of these ghosts, sometimes the Capitol gives tours on a daily basis. But let me go into some more maleficent ghosts that live here in the Capitol building. First off, let's say that in the belly of the building, down below, there is a labyrinth or a maze of tunnels. And those tunnels used to be used to bring coal and in to the inside and the from the outside of the building, and they were using tunnels so it wouldn't be so unsightly to visitors. It was also has a reputation for being used for more nefarious activities, like getting men from the Capitol building discreetly down through the tunnels to the Newhouse Hotel, which is quite notorious. Now, uh, quite some years ago, there was a band of outlaws who came through the San Luis Valley, which is just south of Colorado Springs, and this group of outlaws went through and burned up towns, and they murdered men, and they raped women, and they burnt down towns. And so the governor at the time, up here in the Capitol building, decided to put a bounty out on their heads. Well, time passed, more specifically about 11 years, till a man showed up in the Capitol building with two burlap sacks tied around his neck with a rope. And he said, "I'm here to collect my bounty." And the woman said, "Excuse me, the bounty? The bounty on what?" He said, "The outlaws who were raping and pillaging." And he undid the burlap sacks and he had the heads of these men. Well, the governor was very thankful, but so much time had passed. Instead of giving out the 3,000 bounty per head, he gave out the 1,000 bounty per head. And the man went away very happy and he was never seen of again. But it is said that in the underbelly of this building, the disembodied ghosts of those men are still here. One security officer says that when he went down into the labyrinth And I'm warning you, if you go and they let you into the labyrinth, hold on to your ID, hold on to your keys, because the ghosts will play with them. The security officer said he went down and the keys came off the wall and they were being spun in front of his face as if somebody had them on a finger. He then said he saw this disembodied head screaming and coming at him. Well, he ran out of there quickly. Well, as more and more people have gone into the underbelly of this building, they run back in fear and say they heard whispers of men and they could feel cold spots throughout the building. Well, why, you ask? It's because when the man turned in the heads, what do you think that John Evans did with them? He put them in jars with medicinal alcohol and hid them under the building. Well, since then, there have been so many renovations, the heads haven't been found. But the ghosts of these outlaws are still down there. And it says that these disembodied ghosts are looking to put their head and their body together. But when they can't find them, they end up torturing the innocent people who just are near the area. Now, there's other ghosts that inhabit this building that aren't so dangerous or scary. There is said to be an old matron woman who sits and keeps the legislators company late at night. There is also a woman dressed in Victorian clothes in a white dress who hangs out on the third floor of the Senate. There's also supposed to be an old woman who sits in the conference rooms, and sometimes the men will go in there and the ladies will go in there and say, "Excuse me, ma'am, we have a conference and this is a private area, so you're going to have to leave." And as they open the door to let her out, she disappears. Now, these ghosts are not quite as scary as their presence, which can be hair-raising. But again, if you hope to encounter a ghost, come to the Capitol building for a tour. Now we're going to move on to the Acacia Apartments, where I'm going to show you some very scary photos.